Welcome back to the Behavior Code, the show where we decode the psychology behind why we do what we do. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. And today we're tackling a big one. It's a word that can feel, I don't know, a little intimidating. Discipline.
Totally. It conjures up images of like military drills or super strict diets. But we want to explore what really makes highly disciplined people tick. It's not what most people think.
Exactly. Because when you look at the research, discipline, or, self-regulation, as the academics call it, is one of the biggest predictors of long-term success. We're talking better health, better finances, more fulfilling careers. It's huge.
It really is. And the secret isn't just about having more willpower than everyone else. That's the biggest myth.
Right, not about willpower.
It's much deeper. It's rooted in psychology, right? It's about identity, how you manage your emotions, and even how you set up your physical environment. So that's what we're diving into today, the real code behind discipline.
I love it. So where do we start? The foundation of it all.
Let's start with the absolute core of it, which is identity. This is probably the most overlooked part of the whole discipline puzzle.
Okay, so identity-based behavior. What does that actually mean in practice?
It means that truly disciplined people don't just do disciplined things, they are disciplined people. Their actions are just a reflection of who they believe they are at their core.
So it's not, I have to force myself to go to the gym. It's, I'm the kind of person who doesn't miss a workout.
Exactly. It completely changes the internal conversation. You're not negotiating with yourself every morning. The decision is already made because it's part of your self-concept. It's about the internal narrative.
Right, the story you tell yourself. I remember reading about a famous author, I think it was Stephen King, who said he writes every single day. Christmas, his birthday, it doesn't matter. Not because he feels like it, but because that's what a writer does. He's a writer, so he writes.
That's a perfect example. And you see it everywhere with top performers. Elite athletes see themselves as athletes, so they make choices about food and sleep that align with that identity. Successful entrepreneurs see themselves as problem solvers, so they don't get derailed by setbacks. They see it as part of the job.
Yeah, part of the job. It removes so much of the friction, the debate. You're not trying to become something you're not. You're just acting in alignment with who you already are.
And this is so powerful because our brains are wired for consistency. We have a deep psychological need to act in a way that matches our beliefs about ourselves. So if you can shift your identity first, the behavior follows almost automatically.
So it's less about building a habit and more about becoming a person.
Yes, that's it. You don't build the habit of writing, you become a writer. You don't build the habit of eating healthy, you become a healthy person. It's a subtle but profound shift.
Okay, so that's the internal identity piece. But what happens when your emotions get in the way? I can believe I'm a healthy person, but that doesn't always stop me from wanting to eat an entire pizza.
Ah, yes, the pizza problem. That leads us perfectly into our next section, emotional regulation and the classic struggle with delayed gratification.
The ultimate battle. Short-term pleasure versus long-term rewards.
It really is. And at its core, this is about impulse control. It's the ability to hit the pause button between a feeling and an action. You feel the urge for pizza, but you don't immediately reach for the phone. You pause.
That pause is everything. It's like a little gap where you can actually make a conscious choice instead of just reacting.
It is. And this brings us to one of the most famous experiments in all of psychology, the Stanford marshmallow test.
Oh yeah, the one with the kids and the marshmallows. Classic.
For anyone who hasn't heard of it, researchers basically put a kid in a room with a marshmallow. They told them, you can eat this one now, or if you wait for me to come back, you can have two.
And the follow-up studies were the really mind-blowing part, right?
Completely. Years later, they found that the kids who were able to wait for the second marshmallow, they had better life outcomes across the board. Higher test scores, better health, better careers. It showed a direct link between the ability to delay gratification and long-term success.
And a lot of that comes down to brain development, specifically the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of our brain right behind our forehead that's responsible for being the adult in the room. It handles planning, decision-making, and impulse control.
Right. It's the brake pedal for our more primitive, pleasure-seeking brain. And what disciplined people are really good at is engaging that prefrontal cortex. They've strengthened that muscle.
So, in practical terms, this looks like choosing to put money into a savings account instead of buying a new gadget, or studying for an exam on Friday night when your friends are going out.
Or sticking to your fitness routine even when you're tired and the couch is calling your name. It's about consciously choosing the long-term benefit over that immediate hit of pleasure or comfort.
Okay, so we have a strong internal identity and the ability to manage our emotions. But how do disciplined people, think? What are the mental models they use to make it all work?
That's a great question, and it leads into one of my favorite concepts, focusing on systems over goals.
Systems over goals. Okay, break that down.
So, a goal is a future outcome you want to achieve. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds. A system is the daily process you follow that will eventually lead to that outcome. So, I will eat a healthy breakfast and walk for 30 minutes every day.
Ah, right. Because if you only focus on the goal, you're basically living in a state of failure until you reach it. You haven't lost the 20 pounds yet, so you feel bad.
Exactly. But if you focus on the system, you get to feel successful every single day. Did you eat a healthy breakfast? Win. Did you go for your walk? Win. It creates a continuous feedback loop of success that keeps you motivated.
That makes so much sense. It shifts the focus from a distant, intimidating outcome to a manageable daily process.
And another mental model that fits right in with this is what I call the minimum viable effort rule.
Minimum viable effort. I like the sound of that.
It's about making the bar for success ridiculously low on days you have zero motivation. The goal isn't to have a great workout, it's just to put on your gym clothes and get in the car. The goal isn't to write a chapter of your book, it's to write one sentence.
It keeps the habit alive. It maintains the momentum, even if it's just by a thread, because skipping one day makes it so much easier to skip the next.
It does. And the final piece of this cognitive puzzle is reframing. Highly disciplined people don't see discipline as a restriction. They see it as freedom.
Ooh, say more about that. That sounds counterintuitive.
Well, think about it. Financial discipline gives you the freedom to quit a job you hate. Health discipline gives you the freedom to be active and energetic late into your life. Discipline with your time gives you the freedom to spend it on things that truly matter to you.
Right. The lack of discipline is actually the real prison. You become a slave to your impulses, your moods, your distractions.
Totally. So it's not about restriction, it's about liberation. That reframe is incredibly powerful, but it's still hard to do all this in a chaotic environment, which brings us to the architecture of it all.
Yes, environmental design. I love this topic because it's where you stop relying on willpower and start using, intelligent laziness.
Intelligent laziness is the perfect way to put it. The core idea is simple. Make your desired behaviors easy and your undesired behaviors hard. You're structuring your environment to do the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so classic example. You want to go to the gym in the morning, so you lay out your gym clothes the night before. You remove that one little point of friction.
Yes, or you want to eat healthier, so you don't keep junk food in the house. You're increasing the friction for the bad habit. If you want a cookie, you have to physically leave the house and go buy one.
Right. And on the flip side, you meal prep healthy lunches for the week, making the good choice the path of least resistance.
It's all about reducing decision fatigue. Every choice we make throughout the day drains a little bit of our mental energy. Disciplined people understand this, so they automate as much as possible. They create rituals.
Like a morning routine, you don't have to decide what to do when you wake up. You just do the routine. It's automatic. Frees up your brain power for more important things.
And in the digital world, this is crucial. It means using app blockers to remove the cue for distraction, turning off notifications, curating your digital environment just as carefully as your physical one.
It's amazing how much easier it is to focus when your phone isn't buzzing every 2 minutes. You're not fighting a battle of willpower. You've just removed the enemy from the field.
So true. Okay, so we've covered identity, emotions, thoughts, and environment. But there's a deeper layer, isn't there? The why behind it all, the emotional drivers.
Yes, this is where we get into the heart of motivation. Because discipline that isn't connected to a deeper purpose, it tends to fade.
And that starts with intrinsic motivation. Doing something because it's personally rewarding to you, not because you're chasing some external reward, like money or praise.
Right. A musician who practices for hours because they just love creating music will always be more disciplined than someone who's just trying to get famous. Their why is internal and self-sustaining.
Totally. This is all about being connected to your core values and standards. People with high personal standards don't need a boss looking over their shoulder. They have an internal benchmark for excellence, and they hold themselves accountable to it.
Their values drive their behavior. If you value health, choosing the salad over the fries isn't a punishment, it's an act of self-respect.
An act of self-respect. I love that. And this intrinsic drive is what builds true resilience. It's what allows people to maintain their habits even when life gets hard.
That's the ultimate test, isn't it? It's one thing to be disciplined when everything's going well. It's another thing entirely to stick to your routines when you're going through grief or immense stress, or you've just experienced a major failure.
It is. And for the most resilient people, discipline becomes a response to that adversity. It's an anchor in the storm. When everything else feels out of control, your habits are the one thing you can control. They provide stability and a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, it's like, I can't control what's happening at work, but I can control the fact that I'm going to go for my run. It becomes a source of strength.
It really does. That emotional toughness is forged in those difficult moments. So, okay, we've gone through all the layers. Let's make this super practical. For someone listening right now who wants to become more disciplined, what are the actionable steps?
All right, let's build a roadmap. Step 1, and we started here for a reason, is to build your identity first. Don't start with what you want to do, start with who you want to be.
Decide on the type of person you want to become, and then start asking yourself, what would a person like that do in this situation?
Yep. Step 2, habit stacking. This is a game changer. You attach the new habit you want to build to an existing habit you already do automatically.
So, after I brush my teeth in the morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. Or after I pour my morning coffee, I will write down one thing I'm grateful for.
Exactly. You're using the momentum of an old habit to launch the new one. Step 3 is what we just talked about. Reduce friction. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Design your environment for success.
And a huge one, step 4, embrace imperfection. You are going to mess up. You will skip a day. You will eat the pizza. The goal is not perfection. It's progress.
Yes, the all-or-nothing mindset is the enemy of discipline. If you miss a workout, don't say, well, the whole week is ruined. Just make sure you show up for the next one.
And finally, step 5, accountability. Tell someone what you're doing. Use Habit Tracker. Create some social support. It's much harder to quit when you know someone else is watching or counting on you.
That's a great list. It really breaks it down into a manageable process. So, as we wrap up, what's the one big takeaway we want people to leave with?
For me, it's that discipline is a skill, not a trait. It's not something you're born with or without. It's a muscle that you can train and strengthen over time, just like any other.
Absolutely. No one is a disciplined person from day one. They become one through practice, through small wins, and by building the systems we talked about today.
So, to everyone listening, you absolutely can train yourself to be more disciplined. It's not about a personality transplant, it's about learning and applying these psychological principles.
So, our call to action for you this week is to just pick one thing. Start small. Choose one habit you want to build or one distraction you want to remove. Stay consistent with just that one thing and believe in your ability to grow.
Well said. That's all the time we have for this episode of the Behavior Code. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. Go out there and build the life you want, one small, disciplined choice at a time. We'll talk to you next week.